of the original Tribit or Tribit, we really don't know. One of the original speakers was the Tribit Tribit Stormbox. Now we've got Stormbox 2. This is a rougher feel, more plasticky. This is now more fabricy, smoother feeling. It feels more premium. The new one has a bit of grey on the lanyard at the top, whereas the other one was all black. This is advertised as a 360-degree speaker. We've got offset left and right drivers. I'm saying left and right, not because they're on the left and right, but that is on the left and right, but because they are stereo drivers in that they are doing the left channel, doing the right channel. The difference is on the back. So on the older Stormbox 1, the buttons do light up. On the old version, power level indicator. Well, we've lost that functionality. I've just realised we've lost that functionality. That was actually quite useful. So there's nowhere else to see. Of course, there is an app. We'll get onto that in a minute. Then, where that power level indicator was, of course, we've got the Bluetooth button. Below that is the X-Bass button, where we have the pairing, the Bluetooth button on the old one, and then we have the X-Bass. But what's new now is we've got a link button. The new one will do TWS and party mode, but I believe party mode is only with 2 speakers. And then under the flap on the new one is, I think it's all the same, isn't it? So we've got the USB for charging, and we've got an auxiliary 3.5mm input, and it's exactly the same on the old one. What's the price now? It's obviously going to be about the same price. So as I sit here today, about 50 quid, $68 for the Stormbox 1, and they're saying when this hits at the end of May, it's going to be an early bird in the UK, 38 quid, so a 40% coupon, and then the street price is reckoned to be about 55 quid, with, I think, an ever-present 10% coupon, which would equate to about $60. The power's changed. The power is now 34 watts rated, and it used to be 24 watts. Straight into the measurements. I'm only doing on-axis, by the way.
Remember, this is an on-axis frequency response measurement. The driver's facing to the sides, so we get a considerable roll-off in the high end that you can get back by turning it on its side, but then you lose the stereo effect. So we've got rolled-off highs on axis. We've got a dip in the mids, bit of a dip upper bass, and a prominent 80 Hz peak, a prominent 3 kHz peak, and quite linear volume steps. 60% we still have some reasonable relative bass, 80% it's already massively rolled off, and completely rolled off by 100%. By hitting the X-Bass off button, it's a big cut in the bass, doesn't affect anything anywhere else. Comparing to Stormbox 1, first thing that jumps out at me, the major story here is a big increase in the volume, but they are quite different in the tuning. We overlay Stormbox 1, Stormbox 2. We can see 40%, 60%. It is the Stormbox 1 that has a bigger bass.
The major differences seem to be way more volume or loudness, but less bass. The app, right. The main thing is you go into your equalizer. X-Bass is the default, even though it's not the first preset there. Just know you get the other usual presets: audiobook, classical, rock, jazz. But yeah, the big deal is you can set your own custom, and we add, no, yeah, that's let me do it, confirm, and we go in and we got our 9-band, over 2 screens by the way, our 9-band equalizer, bass on, bass off, just to demonstrate it is quite a significant bass cut. We're going to compare it at quite low volumes, 33%. So these lowest volumes, the Stormbox 2 goes louder, so 35% is 45% for the Stormbox 1. And the differences aren't huge, but they are noticeable, and as we already saw, Stormbox 1 basically has the advantage in bass. The volume steps are quite different, so there 35% is 45% on the old one. The bass is stronger. The bass you're going to hear, there's a little bit more in the deep bass on the Stormbox 1, 2, but to all extents and purposes, there is more bass on the older version. The tuning is different. Really does depend on what tracks you listen to and where they have their peaks and dips and all that. Overall, I prefer listening to the Stormbox 2. I don't really, because the bass is weak anyway, I don't think you're going to hear the difference between them without a really strict A-B comparison. Real world listening, about 65% volume. You know you're my weakness, got me on my knees, yeah. My kryptonite, you feel so right, girl, you got me sleepless, begging, barely breathing. My kryptonite, you feel So louder volumes, still 65% Stormbox 2 is 75% Stormbox 1. Bass is not the strength of either of these versions, but it's Stormbox 2 stronger in the lower mids and Stormbox 1 stronger a little bit in the bass. They flip-flop depending where you are. In terms of upper bass, lower mids, Stormbox 1 does dominate mid bass. So there is, if you look purely at a graph, but just know it's completely rolled off in terms of where you wonder if there's really more headroom. There is deeper bass that you will never hear on the Stormbox 2, but mid bass, upper bass, slam dunk for Stormbox 1. But it's weak, especially as you go up in volumes. It's weak. I don't think it's a deal breaker. They are both weak in the bass. Anyway, let's see what else we've got on the table. We've got the Tribit X-Sound Plus 2. I'm doing this with a sound called Glow. I prefer the Stormbox Pro over the Glow, but this is about references. It's a 360-degree speaker, but it's only got one driver, so it's 360, but that's a true 360, as I said, against one that will sound different each way. All in default mode, default bass-heavy mode, so bass up, whatever they want to call the bass mode, X-bass mode, default X-bass mode we got there. Stormbox 2 versus X-Sound Plus. Well, X-Sound Plus does have a very big V-shape, massive boost in the high end. We've got dominant mids for the Stormbox 2, and then we've got that big push in the bass for the X-Sound Plus. So, very different sounding speakers. Against the sound called Glow, the standout for the sound called Glow is that 4 kHz dip, and a big suck out in those upper mids altogether. Exactly where we get a push on the Stormbox 2. So the Stormbox 2 is going to come out sounding a bit clearer, even though we've got more of a high end on the sound called Glow. But then the sound called Glow does dominate in the bass. Against the Tribit X-Sound Plus, they're very, very different. The problem for the X-Sound Plus is the default tuning. They're obviously quite happy, they haven't changed it. So which one do you prefer? I prefer that with my tuning. If I didn't have my tuning and it was just default, I'd go with the Stormbox 2. Got no bass. I'm not saying I'd enjoy it that much, but I can't listen to that distort. A lot of people can. The Glow comes off as, because this is quite decent in the mids. I know it's not saying it's neutral in the mids, but it's quite mids heavy and it can make that sound quite clear. And it's got rolled off highs and all that, and I say I listen that way. But anyway, that can come off as quite muffled. But it's got the bigger bass. It's got the nicer bass. The thing about this is it has this really nice starburst lights. Is there another speaker doing that at the moment? It looks like a star. I like this because it'll be like an 80s theme party. Gonna go for who is the loudest.
Tell me what you want, here's what you got. You lose every day more than we have ever seen. Rock's not dead, don't ask why. Tell me what you want, here's what you got. You lose every day more than we have ever seen. Rock's not dead, don't ask why.
Who goes the loudest? Well, it's clearly the X-Sound Plus 2, decibel louder than the Stormbox 2 when you turn it on its side and you're face on to one of the drivers. Actually, that's doing really well, and even on paper it's 34 watts. So yeah, that's doing quite well for loudness, just know that, but you'll be listening that way on. Who goes the loudest out? Yes, that goes the loudest. Surprising amount of volume on the Stormbox 2. It goes a lot louder. If someone who's been playing their Stormbox 1, it sounds awful as soon as you've gone to loudest. If they've been doing that with Stormbox 1, they're going to want that. They're going to want the Stormbox 2 goes considerably louder. I think it's a worthy upgrade. yes, it's very weird that it's actually got less bass. The prices: Soundcore Glow, 80 quid, $100. So it is the most expensive on the table. It gives us more bass, but hey, it's a little bit muffled. The others are all around 50 quid, $50. In terms of the battery, the biggest battery, 23 watt hours for the Soundcore Glow. Codec with SBC, Soundcore Glow, SBC, Stormbox 1, the other two, both AAC and SBC. Stereo pairing on all of them except the Stormbox 1. All got USB-C inputs, all have auxiliary inputs. Only the X Sound Plus, could be a big deal, can be used as a power bank. In terms of the drivers, it's got one 64mm full-range driver, plus 2 passive radiators for the Glow. My measurements are both as 1 and 2. In the real world, for proper measurement, the moving bits, 42mm. Ow! It's the end of the video, so I will say thank you for watching. Alright, end the video. Thank you for watching. Good night. What the was that? It comes from China. Our speaker's got deep bass, balanced mids, and a bright high.